everybody. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Here we go. It is Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnarton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Wednesday, August 16, 2023. So nice to have you all with me. In just a few minutes, we'll be joined by our friend Erich Pilcher from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And we have much to discuss. Of course, my favorite conservative, as we do every Wednesday. And by the way, that first track that I played, that opening song, that was Freedom Wagon, from the band Goose Bread, and giving you a little bit of a preview of tomorrow. They're going to be our musical guest on tomorrow's show, Skyping in from Ohio. Looking forward to talking to those guys. They have a really unique project that they're doing, and had to make a quick radio edit of that song. It had one bad word, but I fixed it. But but it comes with the territory. But really looking forward to having those guys on tomorrow. Also, speaking of music, so Friday on the show, in addition to, of course, Fridays, we do Erich Pilcher's classic film review. And this week, the subject is The French Connection. But also, I think I have that right. Friday, we have the world radio premiere of a brand new single from the band House Lights. Our friend Sam Beechard, he's been on the show before. So we are going to world radio premiere. It'll be the first time, new single comes out Friday, but it'll be the first time it's played on FM radio in the United States on this show on Friday. And then on Monday, members of the band House Lights will be here with us live in studio in the second hour to perform, and we'll do an interview too, but also they will have an acoustic performance for us live in studio here in hour number 2 on Monday. So really looking forward to that. So lots of exciting things going on. We don't have a musical guest today, but that's good because sometimes Erich and I, we get to talking and we get to the top of the hour and it's like, oh, we got to go. And even though we're right in the middle of a discussion about something. So today we can kind of relax a little bit. And if we go long, we go long, and it's not an issue. So, so Goose Bread tomorrow, House Lights World Radio premiere Friday with, they will be here with us live in studio on Monday. Also, too, just a little teaser for you. Jenny this morning was interviewed for a pretty big podcast, and that's all I'm going to say about that because it was recorded. It wasn't live. So when it comes out, you'll hear all about it. But stay tuned for that. So that will be forthcoming. The studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. If you would like to join us. We did have someone yesterday who was trying to call in at the same time that I had a guest on. And the guest was Bob Hennelly. If you missed yesterday's show, we talked to Bob Hennelly from New York City. He's a real New Yorker. And that was fascinating. We've got to have him again. He was tight for time. He was only able to give us, he gave us actually more than he was expecting, a little more than 30 minutes, but a very, very successful journalist, award-winning journalist, and successful broadcaster in New York City. He's currently on WBAI 99.5 in New York. But he was on with us, and just a fascinating discussion. I wish we had more time with him, but we'll have him back in the future. But anyway, anybody who was trying to get in while Bob was in, feel free to call today. But we'd been trying to get Bob on for a while, and so I wasn't gonna hang up on him to take somebody else's call about nonsense. I wanted to talk to Bob about important things. So, but that was a great discussion. I enjoyed it a lot. And if you missed it, of course, it is in the archive, and you can go back and get it. And this is Erich. Hello.
Hello, Matt. How are you?
Good. That was a little easier than usual to pick up. It looks like Skype has been updated and they've streamlined things. I didn't have to like double click or anything.
It was easier for me to get on and actually dial you. Yeah.
They must have updated something. That is excellent. Well, Erich Pilcher is here. Now, Erich is with us via Skype. So if you would like to call in, The studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. And actually, looks like our friend Shannon is on the line. Hi, Shannon.
Yeah, I'm jumping on now so that I won't bother you later. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, okay. When you are indicted, don't you become a felon?
No, only if you're convicted.
Now, can the convicted felons that are out now, can they vote?
I think it depends on the state. Different states have different laws. Yeah.
Well, I was just curious because I totally had a brain bubble and didn't recall my John Grisham stuff. So, all right, I was just wondering because usually people that are arraigned and indicted aren't allowed to go run for stuff.
Right. Well, you can still run for office. Actually, there have been many people like what's his name, Ken Paxton, the former Attorney General in Texas. He was under indictment when he ran and won the Attorney General's office in Texas. And so you can still run. You just can't necessarily. It's funny. You can run, but you can't necessarily vote. So you might be a candidate for office on a ballot, but not be able to vote for yourself.
Wasn't that the issue with Mr. Krabs?
Something like that. I don't even want to think about Mr. Krabs, but but yes,
Krabs has concerns at this point in time. I think
Mr. Krabs is probably, hopefully, going to prison for a very long time. But anyway, Mr. Krabs. So we'll have to see, Shannon.
Yeah, and now did the indictment come to trial, correct?
Oh, yes. Well,
okay.
Well, not necessarily. Right. I mean, you can always plead out. But if you're talking about a particular individual who is under indictment currently, I don't think he'll be pleading out.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I'd love to have NPR cover that trial. In or is there a gag order thing? No cameras, no.
Which trial? We got 4 of them coming up.
All of them.
Well, there might be cameras in the courtroom in Georgia.
Persia? Did you say in Persia?
No, I don't think in no.
What did you say?
I don't think they wouldn't allow cameras there. No, I said in Georgia.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
I heard Persia. All right.
Good gosh, golly.
Take care.
All right, Shannon. Thank you for the call.
Have a good one.
Appreciate it. You too. And, that opens up the line for you, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. By the way, Eric, I did see you mentioned in the chat room. Looked like you were having a discussion in there with somebody. So let's take a look at that. I see our friend Mike is in the chat room. Mike from, of course, Queen City Cabinetry, one of our great sponsors here at WMNH. And, of course, Mike joins us on Friday nights for Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. Easy G is in the chat room and says, "Good afternoon, you son of birches." I get it. Yeah, like the trees. I have human parents, Eric. Melanie La Liberty is in the chat room, said no swear teasing. Let's see. JFed, of course, also in the Facebook live chat. Both of them, obviously, Melanie and JFed from the great state of Vermont. Let's see. Oh, Melanie says, "Happy Bennington Battle Day. I got the whole day off." Oh, in Bennington, Vermont, they have a Bennington Battle Day. That's exciting. This is the question. So Melanie said in the chat room, "When are you going to review Porky's Revenge, Eric? You promised."
I do, and I said I do not recall saying I would review Porky's Revenge because I have never seen Porky's Revenge.
Ah.
I watched Porky's, and I'm sorry to say it, I was very disappointed. I think it was overhyped for me.
Ah, I see. Yes. I remember seeing one or two of those movies when I was a kid, but I don't really remember anything about them, to be honest with you, or very little. Let's see. Miriam Banish joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Miriam. Miriam says, I'm disappointed in Mr. Krabs. Well, who wouldn't be? Gregg Joseph is in the chat and says, great show. Gregg, of course, from another one of our great sponsors here at WMNH, Clemento's Pizza. And actually, Gregg also a frequent contributor on the morning show with Peter White. And I always like hearing Gregg on there. He's very good. Oh, is that somebody's waving out in the hallway? I don't know if he's asking to come in. You can come in if you want. Oh, Gregg, hey. I guess Gregg Joseph is going to join us. Yeah, Melanie said, how can you be disappointed in Porky's? No?
I just was. I had buddies that compared it to Animal House and other movies of that time, or Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I just didn't think it was as good as those two.
I see. Well, we've been joined by, for the first time in the history of this show, actually, Gregg Joseph is here. Hey, Gregg.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you for having me, and thank you, Manchester. And I want to just take a second to tell you that you are doing a really, really awesome job with whatever you're doing here.
Thank you.
It's great, man. We have a lot of people listening, and it's good to be able to stop by and finally shake your hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever met you in person. So
that's me, the one and only.
Wonderful to meet you.
We struggle. Some people struggle to understand that this is really me. I walk around town, I shake people's hand, I take photos with people.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm a real person.
Yes. Well, yeah. Sometimes when you're on the radio, because I hear you on the morning show sometimes, and people don't. It's almost like they think everything's virtual reality or something.
Yeah. And it's tough to actually also understand that a local business owner have time to be around as well too, because most of the time they're not even around. You're either somewhere warm or they're somewhere hiding, and then they have youth running the show. But I'm here with myself, my wife, and my family, making sure that everybody. I'm here to give away some stuff too, so that's literally why I stopped by for.
Oh, you want to give something away?
I want to make sure that that tonight or today, either a couple that is actually struggling or a family that's struggling can today stop by Clemento's of Manchester and have dinner for free.
Oh,
on the
wow.
house. Not free, just on the house.
Sure.
Just on the house. I personally legally can't give free stuff out.
Okay.
But I will take care of them.
Oh, very nice.
Either a couple or a family struggling. So we'll cover dinner for somebody today.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's it. That's literally I stopped by to say, oh, you got somebody on the line?
Oh, yeah. Erich is on Skype. What were you going to say, Erich?
That I just said that's amazing. Good work.
Oh, thank you very much, Erich. It's a pleasure. I didn't even know you were here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're staying focused and we're making sure that everybody have something in their belly before they go to bed today.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I mean, you're welcome to stick around. I don't know if you like talking.
No, I have to
politics, but
the way that I'm dressing right now is the way that I actually make food for people. So I am going straight back to the shop to make sure that my wife's over there. We have team over there, but it's good to be there to make sure that everybody's getting a great service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You have questions for me? Politics questions? Real quick. One question. I have one question.
Yes.
I'll answer one.
Oh, you'll answer a question?
I'll answer one question.
Okay.
If you have a question.
Oh, do I have a question?
Yeah.
Pauly C's on the line. He might have a question. You know Pauly C, right?
I know a lot of different guys. I probably don't know them in person, but I know a lot of them around here.
I think that's him. Are you there, Paul?
I'm here. Is that Gregg I hear in there?
Hey, Pauly, how are you, buddy?
Gregg
I stopped by
Joseph.
real quick to say hi and give him props for the work that he's doing.
Yeah, we love you, man. I do the Retro Spectrum Radio with Matt on Friday night.
Awesome. I'll stop by some other time. You guys just have to invite me because I don't want to just swing in and take the shine from anybody else.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm just wondering, do you have any free food for struggling DJs who don't get paid to do a Friday night radio show?
That you have to talk to Peter about that. Peter have some good numbers in his hands. He's just not sharing with other people.
That's right.
That's all. Peter White have.
All right. Well, I'll stop by in there with him. We'll both share a piece, and we'll pay for it.
There you
Policy,
go.
thank you, man. Thank you for calling.
There you go.
All right, brother. See you.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
You see what I just started. So let me repeat that one more time. Sorry, Matt.
Oh, no worries.
Any couples that are actually, because a lot of time we don't understand the fact that couples struggles. They fight, they argue because the man probably not going to be able to provide at a certain time, or the wife as well too can struggle sometimes. Girlfriend, sometimes it's good to be able to leave the house and have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And knowing that you can go somewhere and it's a family atmosphere, there's music, there's happiness there. I'm inviting anybody today to stop by Clemento's and we'll just have a good time. Or any family that actually is struggling and you can't feed your kids today, the place to be is 1875 South Willow Street, and just come on over and we'll take care of you.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We
Gregg.
got to do what we got to do, because the thing is, I was at a certain time the one struggling. I was at a certain time the one not being able to provide. So if now I could see my kids with a smile on their face, I would love to copy and attach that on somebody else's face as well too. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Thank you very much for having me. Man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're always welcome, Gregg.
You don't have any policy questions for me before I leave, because I don't usually do that.
Oh, and what? Take questions?
And I'm taking one question.
You're taking one question. Eric, do you have a question for Gregg?
What's your favorite type of pizza to make?
Ooh.
I have something really nice I'm going to tell you right now. The favorite type of pizza to make is the Caribbean Gregg special pizza. We just took a couple photos, and then they will be featured in national television very shortly. So
really?
No, I'm not supposed to talk about it, but that's
okay.
why I can't tell you what TV exactly it's
Gotcha.
gonna be. But the Caribbean Gregg special pizza, it's just to die for.
Oh, no
I
kidding.
just posted it on the Clemento's page as well. So I had to take the photos today, freshly made. I gave the rest of it away, but it's a good thing. It's a really, really, really good pizza.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, solid.
Very cool.
Really good.
Excellent.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Watch this show. There's no other shows around at this time. This
Agreed.
is the show to watch.
Agreed. 100%.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Gregg. I
Bye,
appreciate
Eric.
it. All right.
Bye,
Wonderful.
Gregg.
Wonderful.
Bye.
The great Gregg Joseph from Clemento's. Hey, man, so nice to meet you finally. Yeah. All right, Gregg, take care. All right, very good. Well, that was a wonderful surprise. It's funny. So I did see Gregg out in the hallway, but where he was standing. So sometimes people in the building, they're actually looking for the television station on the 4th floor, but they come to the 3rd floor and they see stuff and they think they're in the right place. I thought maybe it was somebody going to John Hopwood's show or something, but it turned out to be Gregg Joseph. So very cool. And that's really cool what he does. And, that's not the first time I've heard him offer to, help somebody in the community. So that is amazing. All right. Well, that opens up the studio line is open, of course, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Erich Pilcher is here with us on Skype. And, I'm sorry, Melanie. Melanie wanted me to ask Gregg about Porky's. I should have asked him about pineapple on pizza.
You should have.
If he does, because I could have asked an expert.
I tagged you in a photo Friday night.
You did?
And
yes. I remember now. Yes.
You left a very, you left an angry emoji on it.
Yes, I did.
I don't understand this vitriol I'm getting. But if I may, before we get started, I would like to get on a soapbox for a brief moment, Matt. I didn't warn you about this because I wanted it to be off the cuff.
All right. I hope you're not going to describe some sort of horrible topping you like putting on pizza.
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
This is a bit more serious.
Okay.
You know what really upsets me?
I don't know. Does it? What is it?
Cowardism or cowardice in general.
Uh-huh.
There's one degree of cowardice. I don't know why this is just stuck in my craw recently.
Uh-huh.
Could have been something that happened. I don't know. Can't put a finger on it. The ultimate act of cowardice is challenging someone to something knowing they are unable, unwilling, or just don't care to accept.
Right.
Like, I could sit here and challenge Mike Tyson to a fight.
Yes.
And then turn around and say, a week later, Mike Tyson never responded to me. I punked Mike Tyson out.
Yes.
You know what? That makes me one of the biggest cowards on God's green earth. Why? Because Mike Tyson isn't going to respond to Erich Pilcher. Mike Tyson doesn't care what Erich Pilcher has to say, let alone the fact that this guy from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, challenged him. So, a note to everybody. you're going to challenge someone, one, be a viable challenge to them.
Yes.
With this, maybe this instance, this person that challenged this other person is just so insignificant and so beneath them that it didn't even deserve a response.
Right.
And two, if you call someone a coward, please make sure you know how to spell coward. That's the other thing. If you can't spell certain things, shouldn't be able to call people those things.
Well, some people have speech impediments.
Let's just pull out a random word. Nazis. If you can't spell Nazis, you can't be one. You can't say someone is one. That word is eliminated from your vocabulary.
Yes. I agree with you.
So yeah, anyone that acts like that is just ignorant and a total coward and not worth anyone's time. As a matter of fact, I'm disgusted. I've spent the amount of time addressing it that I have.
Well, you had to get it off your chest. I understand.
Yep.
And
yep.
And by the way, the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, take your opportunity. I mean, call, speak with us.
By the way, Melanie in the chat room says shenanigans is pretty hard to spell too. I disagree, Melanie. I disagree, because you might think a word like that, it's 4 syllables, it's not a word you use all the time, but it is one of those words that you can sound it out, and what you would expect it to be if you sound it out phonetically does end up being the spelling. So I disagree, Melanie. I think that word is very easy to spell. It's like the word anti-disestablishmentarianism. You might think that's hard to spell. It's I don't know if it still is. It's at times it's been referred to as the longest word in the English language, barring medical and legal terms, of course. But if you just sound it out, it's actually not difficult to spell at all.
I mean,
you just break it down.
I would have difficulty spelling it.
No, you wouldn't. I promise you, Eric, you could do it. But our friend Ron is on the line. Hi, Ron.
Hey, guys. Hey, I just got a question for you.
Yes.
And it's kind of like silly, but I just had this conversation with my brother-in-law 2 days ago. We were talking about Hawaii and all the problems. And his wife happened to say, everybody was hysterical. And then their husband said, no, hysterical has to do with, laughter. And I thought about it, and I said, well, I think it has two meanings,
yes.
Laughter and so forth like that, but also, the word hysteria, people that are in chaos. Is he right, or am I wrong?
No, you're right. I mean, like a lot of words, there are multiple meanings or connotations, and depending on the context.
So however
of how
you use it in the sentence made the difference.
Yeah, I mean, you could say something is hysterically funny, or you could say, people were hysterical and upset.
Case closed. She answered my question.
Yeah.
Because I was getting ready to get a dictionary out and try to look up the definition. And since you guys were semi on the topic of spelling and this and that, I said, all right, I'll just take 2 minutes, call in and get my question answered. So you did. Hi, Eric. Hi, Matt. Have a good show. Want to listen to the rest.
All right. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate the call.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. And that does open up the line for you, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. By the way, Scott Robinson says in the chat, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is hard to spell also. That one I agree with. I've never attempted it, but...
Yeah, that one is certainly on the list of things that is difficult to... Yeah, I can't spell that one, even though there's a song dedicated to...
Right. It's easier to sing it than it is to spell it.
Yes, very much so.
Also, I should alert you, Eric, I don't know if you saw this. JFed says, I challenge Eric Pilcher to a leg wrestling competition.
He would win. I responded. He would win.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have no meniscus in either knee, so he would win hands down.
And, he does the ice bath, which I understand actually makes your legs stronger. It builds muscle in your legs.
Yeah, he's already a tougher man than I am. I couldn't do an ice bath.
I mean, I read that somewhere online, so I assume it's true. And by the way, our friend DJ Steve is in the Facebook live chat. Of course, DJ Steve, one of our co-hosts on Retro Spectrum Radio on Friday nights. He says, "Good afternoon, Matt. My favorite pizza is a meat lover's pizza. I do enjoy that quite much as well."
Yeah, meat lovers is good.
Lots of protein.
Meat lovers. Yeah, absolutely. It covers all the essential parts of the food pyramid. Got the crust, which is the bread. You got the meat, protein, cheese, dairy, tomato sauce. So you got your vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a modern day Jack LaLanne.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Let's see. Jenny has joined us in the Facebook live chat and says, "Shalom, peeps." Shalom. I don't know if you heard earlier, Jenny. I gave a little teaser that you did an interview on a pretty big podcast today, but I said no more than that. I figure we'll wait till it comes out, obviously. But well, let me give the studio line one more time: 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. If you're just joining us, our friend Erich Pilcher is here for our regular Wednesday segment, and so, Erich, you are in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and did you attend the what do you call it again? Is it the Iowa State Fair? Is it the
Iowa State Fair? Yes, it is. No, I make it a point to not go to the Iowa State Fair.
Yes.
One, it's 2 hours from me.
Oh, okay.
So and it's just always so unbearably hot. I'm a baby when it comes to the heat. I'm a whiny child. I get cranky. I'm unbearable to be around. More so than normal. But yeah, I was really. I mean, man, I was pretty shocked at the political turnout this year.
Was it shocked in what way? Was it more than you expected? More people than you expected?
It's how it was done. And I mean, you had Ron DeSantis grilling pork chops for fair people. You had Ramesh, I hope I'm saying his name correctly.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yes, Ramaswamy, guarantee victory.
And he rapped.
Yes, he rapped. Yes. And then you had Donald Trump showing up not uninvited, but not a part of Governor Reynolds. She calls them fair side chats and political soapbox.
Yes.
But he didn't show up for that. He just showed up.
Yeah, it was a kind of a quick in and out, right? He was there for what, 90 minutes?
Yeah, 90 minutes in and out. And really he has said some things in the last couple of weeks that aren't going to do him any favors in the state of Iowa.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me on the phone the other night, but I have a thought about that. But go ahead and explain what you mean.
Oh, I'm actually really intrigued to hear your thought. Look, Iowans love our governor, Kim Reynolds, and I'm actually a big fan of Kim Reynolds. I don't agree with everything she says or everything she does, but yeah, I am a big fan of Kim Reynolds. A lot of people, because she was lieutenant governor to Terry Branstad for so many years, really are huge fans of hers because they love Terry Branstad, who I also told you I had the honor of having lunch with him once, and he really is a great guy. Again, not someone I really agree with politically, or just personally, there's a couple skeletons in his closet that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a great experience. So yeah, but Iowans really like Kim Reynolds. And one of the main reasons is Iowa is the only state in the United States operating at a surplus. We do not have a deficit.
Oh, no kidding.
And no, and I mean, there might be others now, but we're operating in a surplus.
Last I knew, New Hampshire was as well, but that might have changed.
Yeah, so there are very few states that we can say that are operating in a surplus.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kim Reynolds is very well liked in the state of Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump has targeted her because she refuses to declare her undying loyalty and kiss the rings of the Donald.
Right. She refuses to endorse him. She's staying neutral for now.
For now, yes. And there will come a time where, yes, she will have to endorse someone.
Mm-hmm.
But August is not that time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, yeah, he really, that's a misstep, in my opinion, that he is making by attacking Governor Reynolds.
The thought that I had about that after we talked was, is it really a misstep or does it matter? I mean, I don't think, because typically supporters of his will choose him over anybody. I mean, I can't imagine that the average Trump supporter in Iowa even cares. I mean, they might continue to love Kim Reynolds, but I don't think that Trump criticizing Kim Reynolds is going to matter to the average Trump-loving Iowan.
That's a fair point, but it depends on how much further he takes this. And that's my bigger point, is how much further does he go?
Mm-hmm.
Once you've disgruntled the Don, it's almost never over. The man is great at holding grudges.
Oh yes.
Very, very, I gotta give him credit. His ability to hold a grudge is unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
He still has an issue with Megyn Kelly. So,
oh yeah.
And that was for nothing. So, yeah, he can certainly hold the grudge. So it's going to be dependent on how far he goes with this. And usually here in the state of Iowa, who the governor endorses, the Des Moines Register, which is our top newspaper in the state, falls in line with endorsing.
Okay.
They don't rock the boat.
But
so
at what point in the process, though, historically, does the governor usually typically make an endorsement there?
I would say, I want to say it's probably November.
Okay.
Right before the candidates really start hitting Iowa hard for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's when she makes her endorsement, and she will go on campaign stops with them to the bigger cities and some of the smaller ones as well, especially if it's an area that's a hotly contested area in the state. Des Moines, generally, shockingly enough, isn't hotly contested. Usually they go with who the governor supports.
Mm-hmm.
Cedar Rapids can be. Where you get a lot of the hotly contested areas within the state are the farming areas.
Really?
They get very divided, and it can take quite some time for those results to roll in. If you go to our caucus in a big city, it's pretty decided, but in the smaller cities, there's a lot of posturing that goes on.
Okay. And when is the caucus? Is it January?
Yes, it's the first Tuesday in January.
Okay.
Unless that falls on New Year's Day, then it's the following Tuesday.
Gotcha. So do you have any sense of, from where I sit, I mean, obviously, Trump, I'm absolutely certain will win New Hampshire. I'm operating under the assumption, now tell me if I'm wrong, because obviously you're there in Iowa, but my assumption is Trump will win Iowa. I realize he didn't in 2016, but it's, he's so much more popular now with that core base of the Republican Party, that 35% that's with him no matter what. So my assumption is that he will win Iowa and then win New Hampshire, and then what's next? I think maybe Nevada and then South Carolina. Or anyway, I'm predicting that he's going to wrap this thing up pretty early, and that he's going to easily win both Iowa and New Hampshire, and then it's, because I'm assuming he's going to be the nominee. Would you say I'm wrong about Iowa? Is there any reason to think that there could be some sort of an upset there?
To quote him, at the fair this past weekend, he said, "I'm 50 points up in Iowa, 5-0.
Right.
I'm not worried."
Right.
It's August, though.
Yeah.
Governor Reynolds said this, and said it pretty eloquently, that it's August. It is too early for us to kind of say it's over. I mean, there are things that can happen. I will say this. I have seen 2 different super PACs launch attack ads against him now. We're up to 2 in Iowa. This early in the game, that's very, very bizarre. To have super PACs launch attack ads on one person in particular.
Yeah.
So that could start an undercurrent within the Iowa Republican Party that causes this divisiveness even in the bigger cities, which, if that happens, then you can kind of start to see a trend possibly. Because the great thing about Iowa being the first one up, first in the nation, sorry, John Hopwood, is that really we have a way of setting the trend, if that makes sense, Matt.
Well, I think sometimes that's true.
I mean, we sank Howard Dean. I mean, you talked about it last week. We were the ice. Iowa was the iceberg, and Howard Dean was the Titanic.
Yeah, true. No, that's absolutely true.
I mean,
and people misremember some details about that. People think, oh, it was the scream. But no, he let out that scream after losing the Iowa caucus, because in the way I remember it is in the days, maybe the couple of weeks, but certainly in those days leading up to the caucus, all of a sudden John Kerry, out of nowhere, really just surged and wound up beating Howard Dean.
You know what John Kerry did that year was actually a stroke of brilliance. He did what Trump did in 2016. He hit the rural farming areas. And Howard Dean was hitting the big areas. He was hitting the Cedar Rapids, the Des Moines, the Cedar Falls, the Quad Cities. Here is John Kerry. He's hitting Osceola, Iowa. He's hitting Mason City. He's hitting, what's another one? Spirit Lake, Clear Lake. He's hitting the small towns, Oskaloosa. He's going Manchester. He's going hard on them.
Mm-hmm.
And that really, there's something to be said that you hit those densely populated rural areas late in the game, they can carry you to a victory.
Yeah, it certainly worked. And so that year is an example of, because once John Kerry was able to win Iowa, then all of a sudden he's viable. He went from being an afterthought to being viable. And then,
Barack Obama in 2008.
Yeah.
He won Iowa.
Yeah.
Everyone had, a lot of pundits had Hillary winning Iowa.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Some of them said it would be 8 or 9 points.
Yeah.
And not necessarily a landslide by any stretch, but it was, if Hillary wins Iowa, she's going to win New Hampshire. And not trying to diminish or insult you, Matt, so please don't take it like this.
Okay.
But when you said Trump was going to win the nominee this year, he's going to win Iowa, then he wins New Hampshire, then it's just a snowball effect. But that, I mean, it does, in some ways, Iowa can set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these indictments and what ends up happening as we go down this road, they're going to play a big part in this. Now, if I had to put odds on it of Trump being the presumptive nominee, I would say 60%, maybe upwards of 70%.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's going to be, can Trump get the people that he shouldn't get? Can he get people to come over from the Ron DeSantis camp, the Chris Christie camp, the Ramaswamy camp, Nikki Haley? Can he get those people once their candidates are out? And if he goes on just insulting these candidates, he's going to alienate a lot of those bases.
See, I think he can get those people, because the people supporting those candidates are supporting candidates who, well, with the exception of Chris Christie and I suppose too, with the exception of Asa Hutchinson and Will Hurd, both of whom have even less of a chance than Chris Christie. These other candidates are being very deferential to Trump. Ramaswamy saying, he'll pardon Trump. And not that Ramaswamy has any chance, but they're all tiptoeing around.
You can say anything if you have a snowball's chance in hell.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Say no taxes. Didn't that Andrew Wang, I think his name was, Yang?
Andrew Yang, yeah.
Yeah, didn't he come up with something giving everyone a $2,000 check?
Well, that universal basic income, which is my dad, actually, believe it or not, told me he supports that concept. Not necessarily Yang's approach to it, but that he's open to it. It's a very interesting subject, actually, universal basic income, which to a large degree would actually wind up replacing the current social safety net. But he never, but again, to your point, he never had any kind of a chance at all.
No chance, say whatever.
Right.
I mean, I could run for president on the platform that you will never pay taxes ever again. I mean,
right.
Who's going to vote for me? I'm sure there'd be some whack jobs that's like, yeah, that Pilcher guy, he's got his head on straight.
Right.
I'm sure I'd get the Cletus and Jim Bob vote, but yeah. So yeah, I get it. You can say whatever you want.
Right. But I think
I
would put the percentage much higher that Trump is going to be the nominee. I wouldn't say 60 to 70. I would say 80 to 90. What
maybe I'm just hopeful.
What could possibly take him out of it? I mean, if you're running around with 4 indictments and you're still viable and it's actually strengthening you instead of weakening you, what could possibly take him out? There's nothing. There's nothing that could take him out.
I mean, it depends on what else comes out. I mean, look, you just basically, yeah, I don't know. It's very bizarre what is happening here.
Strange times, to say the least.
Let me see if I can pull up her post. I read this and I wasn't even going to comment on her post because it was just so factually inaccurate. It just was.
By the way, while you look for that, Melanie said in the chat room, we were talking about the Iowa caucus. She said, "Caucus always makes me chuckle with my humor of a 12-year-old." Yeah, that word makes me giggle too. Oh, you found the post?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to say their name because it's irrelevant. But this showed up on my Facebook feed, and This is verbatim.
Okay.
All I can say is good luck to you, Fannie Willis, on your indictments of Trump and the other 18, because you will never succeed in getting convictions on them. And to Jack Smith, you won't either, as you are walking with Satan, and Trump and the 18 others are walking with God. God will have the final say, and please, no comments from any of you Trump haters, as they will be deleted. Someone commented, and she said they won't let this... I can't even say it without laughing. They will not let this strong, God-fearing man alone. He is not perfect by any means. None of us are. But he did more good for our country than any president I know, and against all odds. God was with him, and if God is for you, no one can take that away. God will have his way, no matter who he picks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Well, you know, Eric, I don't know. Have you ever heard me talk about the dream that I had where I went to heaven and I got to go into God? Have you ever heard this story?
I have not. I feel free to tell it because my head hurts.
I had this dream once that it was either a dream. It seemed very real. I might have had an out of body experience, but in my dream, I went to heaven, and Saint Peter let me in. I was a little surprised, to be honest with you. And he said, he told me to go have a seat in God's office and wait for him, and God would be with me in a few minutes. And I go into the office, and of course, there's a big golden desk there. And hanging on the wall behind the big gold desk is, of course, a giant portrait of Ronald Wilson Reagan, God's second favorite president. And of course, there's a big American flag hanging to one side. And to the other side of God's desk, there was this big life-size one of those standees, one of those cardboard cutouts that you can stand up of Donald John Trump, God's favorite president. And then I woke up, but that was my dream, and it seemed very real.
That seems like more of a nightmare to me.
Yeah, it felt great. I mean, I just felt at peace while I was standing there gazing at the life-size cardboard cutout of Donald John Trump in God's office.
If the basis of my religion is that Donald Trump is the second coming, I really have to question my faith.
I don't think, I mean, I haven't heard anyone say that he's the second coming necessarily, but I think he's... there
is a lot of Messiah complex with his followers.
Well, I've noticed.
I often ask myself, because one of the oddities in American history that always, if there's a documentary on about it, I have to watch it. If there's a new book, I want to read it. I can't explain it. Maybe I should talk to my therapist about it. But Jonestown, Jim Jones, it's compelling to me.
Yeah.
And so that is, but I always ask myself, how could this happen? And then I see Donald Trump followers, and I'm like, bingo.
Well, I think Eric, and I want to be a little bit careful about how I say this, because I'm not. People might take this as I don't mean this as an insult. There's a genuine observation that I'm making here, but I think that some people are used to. Let me put it this way. I think some people are used to turning on their televisions on Sunday morning and seeing a con man in a very expensive suit saying, "Follow me, send me money, follow me, I'm the way." And I think, and because of that, I think some people are just preconditioned over decades to follow someone like Trump. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Yes. Satellite pulpits.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Totally makes sense.
Because if you hear, I mean, anytime that Trump is asked about his alleged faith, I mean, he trips all over himself so awkwardly. I'm sure you've seen it back in 2016 when I think it was John Heilman and who's the other guy? I forget the other guy's name, but they're interviewing Trump about religion, and they're asking him about his faith, and they ask him, is there a particular passage or a book in the Bible that really speaks to you? And he can't come up with anything, and he just kind of BS's his way through it, and then one of them asks him, "Well, are you a?" Mark Halperin, that's the other guy. It was John Heilman and Mark Halperin are sitting with him. And then one of them says, "Well, are you like a New Testament guy, or do you prefer the Old Testament?" And that's a layup, by the way, because even as a non-religious person, I know the answer to that is, well, you say, well, the New Testament's the story of Jesus. That's an easy one, right? Trump couldn't even get that. He goes, well, I think I like them both equally. They're both good books. Like he just, and like the insincerity just drips from him. And yet millions of people believe that he's a man of God.
Like, I would have been like, so President Trump, are you more of a Sodom and Gomorrah guy, or are you more Book of Job? Like,
well, I like them both. They're both very important. I mean, he just doesn't even. It's like he barely even puts in the effort. Like he almost like he knows he can just skate. He knows he can just say anything, and people will buy in, and it just doesn't even matter.
Well, at the church I used to attend, I actually questioned this once, and someone said, "Well, the only person who can judge President Trump is God." And then no less than 2 minutes later, they just start ripping Joe Biden.
Of course.
Wait. For like his parenting skills with Hunter Biden.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy here is quite rich.
Well, that's as someone who's not religious, I mean, that's kind of my whole, in a broader sense, Trump is really just a microcosm of this, a symptom of this larger thing, this phenomenon. Is in a broader sense, my problem with Christianity is where's the Christ? If nobody wants to put any Christ in their Christianity, then I don't know what y'all are doing. You know what I mean? There's no Christ in any of it.
Let me be clear here. If this person were able to tie Hunter Biden's activities, the alleged activities, to Joe Biden, then I'd be like, okay, now we're having a meaningful discussion. Because if Joe Biden did what is in the Hunter Biden indictment, then yes, he is wrong, unequivocally, and he should be held accountable.
Yeah.
If that includes up to and including impeachment. But at the end of the day, it's just like this idea. It's like, okay, so where do you fall on grabbing a woman by the private parts then?
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are questions I have, or saying that, or a father saying his daughter was hot, and if she wasn't my daughter, I would date her. Where do you fall on that spectrum here? Like, there are things he has said and things that he has done. There is a photo of him holding a Bible upside down outside of a church.
Yeah.
That, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Matt. It's just mind-boggling to me that these people blindly believe he's this man of God when there have been so many instances where you're like, hold on, wait a second.
I know.
So, then you have the whole Stormy Daniels situation. The Bible states that a man is to love his wife as much as Jesus loves the church. He cheated on his pregnant wife with a porn star and then allegedly used campaign funds to pay her off. money that these church people donated were used to pay off a porn star. I'm sorry, to me that sounds like secondhand prostitution.
So I'm curious, Eric. I don't know how much you want to get into this, but that's up to you. But I'll just kind of ask, when you would when you were still at that church and you would have these conversations with people and you would question these things, did you encounter any instance where somebody was open to what you were saying, or were you really kind of on an island there where you were the only one kind of putting your hand up and saying, "Hey guys, I have some concerns"?
I was on an island.
Wow.
Nope. On an island.
Wow.
Completely on an island on that one.
Yeah.
Some people would talk about me behind my back, say I'm a quote unquote liberal puke, that I'm faking being a Republican, that I'm really not, I don't vote for God. I vote for things that go against God. So yeah, there was a lot of things that were said. Like, I did a post regarding like uniting as a country after the election.
Yeah.
And how wrong January 6th was shortly after it happened. And our pastor's daughter personally attacked me on an open forum. Like, in public. And then she's like, "Didn't you wear a hat one night to our church that said Trump 2024 making liberals cry again?" Yes, I did. So what?
Yeah.
Like, what's that matter? It has nothing to do with anything. It's up there with if someone on the left decided to have a funny Joe Biden hat bashing Trump. If they had a hat that said Biden 2024, grab him by the vote, I would chuckle. That's good. I should market that. Yeah, but yeah, it's like, what's that matter?
And the thing that's so troubling is that this is all about one dude. This is all about it's all about Trump, and because you know, I mean, your politics haven't changed, right? I mean, you're still a conservative. I assume you still generally support Republicans and Republican ideas, but because you separated yourself from one guy named Donald Trump, they just turn against you. That's what's so scary about all of this to me. And that's why, you know, and to see the way it's become such a cult of personality around one guy. Oh, and by the way, I thought idolatry was supposed to be a sin, but these people engage in a level of idolatry that for Donald Trump that is beyond anything I've seen in my lifetime. And they don't get it. And they never will, unfortunately.
Let's go further down the rabbit hole, if you don't mind, Matt.
Yeah, no.
Let's look at how Donald Trump has made a lot of his money. Trump casinos in hotels. Gambling is supposed to be a sin. Mm-hmm. His money came from sin.
I'd never even thought of that.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, and I will go on the record, and anyone listening to this, write this down, take a picture. I don't care. I will not, under any circumstances, vote for Donald Trump in 2020 in the next election. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
Yeah, that's all right.
Will not do it. I do not care if he's the Republican nominee. I will vote Libertarian. I will write in. And if the Democrats run someone up that isn't named Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, I might be inclined to listen to them.
Sure.
I will not vote for that man at all. Not. I supported him in 2020. I begrudgingly voted for him in 2016. Won't do it again.
Yeah.
Will not do it in 2024. This man is a threat to the very fabric of our country. If you need any more example, any more, I tell you, open your eyes. Just open your eyes and watch video of January 6th. Wash all of your preconceived notions away. That, oh, well, some of them were Antifa and Black Lives Matter people that the Democrats brought in. Get that out of your head.
I know. Yeah. There's a lot of excuses and justifications I hear from people, and it's
yeah, that's one of the top ones I have heard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Get that out of your head, because these people that have been arrested for this and rightfully convicted for this heinous act, they are not Black Lives Matter supporters.
Right.
If you look at their rap sheet and their Facebook profiles, you can see that. They certainly aren't Antifa.
Well, the thing I always say too, Eric, is if you know, even if you take everything out of it, everything else out of it, other than not even January 6th itself, not even the riot itself, but just if you take everything away, all the negative stuff about Trump, let's say that every negative thing that I or you or anyone else about Trump has ever said, not true. He was actually a great president, great guy, man of God, whatever you want to think about him, all the great things. Even if he's the salt of the earth. And even if January 6th, let's say January 6th was, you know, it was really Antifa trying to make Trump supporters look bad, or whatever other stuff we've heard, or it was really the FBI coordinated it, or whatever the excuses are. Even if any of that is true, and even if the election was stolen, even if that's true, which we know it wasn't, but even if that's true and Trump was right, there's one fundamental fact that is fact that no one can dispute, and it's this. Take everything else away. There's this one fundamental fact. When our capital was under attack, the President of the United States, who swore an oath when he took the oath of office, he put his hand on a Bible and he swore an oath to protect, under the Constitution, to protect our country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And for 2.5 hours, he sat and declined to defend the Capitol. At any moment, he could have defended the Capitol, but he made a choice, a deliberate choice not to. So even if everything else, take away everything else, that one fundamental fact cannot be challenged. It cannot be disputed. And that, to me, you know, that's the thing that matters the most out of anything. And there's nothing anyone can say to explain that away, that he sat there and watched it on television. He failed to protect the Capitol, which means he failed to protect the country because he made a choice not to uphold his oath of office.
Yep. And you know, some people will sit there and they will say, well, he came out and said stop 2.5 hours after it started.
Yep.
At that point, that's like the little kid that comes and brings a little water bucket to a house fire.
Well, not only that, he came out and said stop, but I would argue that he actually gave aid and comfort to the enemy in the process, because he came out and said, please stop, but I love you. I understand why you're upset. You have a right to be upset. I get it. I'm with you. I support you. Whatever else he said. So he came out and expressed his support. He said, but we have to have peace. You have to go home now. But I understand. Oh, yeah, that's what he said, too. I understand. I'm upset, too. I understand. For a president of the United States to do that, to say things like that to people who are attacking our capital, And then for millions of Americans to be perfectly fine with that. Dude, we're living in the twilight zone, man. These are very, very bizarre times. Very bizarre.
Yup, absolutely. Absolutely.
Ugh. Well, any thoughts on the indictments? It's been quite a week already.
My thoughts haven't changed.
Yeah.
If in the indictments, I actually went through the Georgia one. I skimmed through it. I didn't read all of it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I love it when people are like, I've read that in those indictments from cover to cover. You have not. Trump's lawyers haven't even read those darn things from cover to cover. A majority of Trump supporters are still probably stuck on hop on pop.
Oh, well.
You didn't read those indictments because there's no pictures.
Oh, my. You're going in.
Yeah,
Well.
wait a minute. You probably have a hard time getting through an issue of guns and ammo.
No, it's okay. I just want to say for the record, I know people who support Trump who I think are very, very intelligent people. I disagree with them and I'm completely baffled by them, but I don't.
Sorry, I should not.
No.
insult.
Don't be sorry. You're free to express yourself. That's what we do on this show, Eric. You don't have anything to be sorry about. I just want to be clear. I do not co-sign those particular comments.
Right, please.
What's that?
The ones that have told me that, I'm like, okay, you have a problem getting through an issue of guns and ammo. You did not sit there and read an indictment from cover to cover.
Yeah.
Stop. I didn't even read it from cover to cover.
No, I haven't read it either, the Georgia indictment.
And looking at the key points, and I must say, yes, there are some things that it's like, really, what are we doing here? He called a phone number, and that's now criminal conspiracy. But there are other things that I'm like, okay, that's a red flag. That's wrong. See, we lack open-mindedness.
Mark Meadows is trying to, his lawyers are trying to get this kicked to the, make it federal. Take it out of Georgia, which would be good for Trump in theory, because that's another thing that if he's convicted, he'll be able to pardon himself. If he's president.
That's the strategy. Because let's be frank, the Democrats are not going to usurp Joe Biden. They're not going to say, hey, you can't run.
I know. And they should. Oh, by the way, Joe Friday in the chat room says, I only read Mad Magazine from cover to cover.
I subscribe to Fangoria.
Oh, really?
I pay $70 a year for 4 issues.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's Matt. Fangoria is now $20 an issue off the newsstand.
Well, I hope you read that cover to cover for that kind of money.
No, I actually don't.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, nah. Yeah. But my point is this. So yeah, anyone who says they've read the indictment cover to cover, if 10 people told me that, I would probably question 9 of them. No, you didn't.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It'd be a lot. It would be a lot.
There are books I've owned for 10 years that I haven't even read cover to cover. So no, that's ridiculous. You haven't read the entire indictment.
Right.
I mean, people wouldn't read the entire indictment if they released it like a novel, like they did the Starr Report.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, those were the days. Simpler times.
Yeah. When a president got indicted, it was like a tawdry romance novel.
Well,
I believe that's where they put it too, in the supermarkets, right by the Harlequin romance novels.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, when Monica Lewinsky happened, they actually did. You could go and buy. Well, I'm sure you still could. You could go on Amazon and get it. They actually did make it into a book. The Kenneth Starr indictment. Yeah. By the way, you mentioned Joe Biden. Do you have any kind of a prediction in terms of, you said, see, John Hopwood was saying, I thought John might stop in today. He's in the building. I'm surprised he didn't. But John thinks that Gavin Newsom that they're going to somehow get Biden out and Gavin Newsom in, or he thinks it's a possibility. I don't see it happening. I think Gavin Newsom is actually setting up a run for 2028 is what he's doing. But no, I think it's going to be Biden. I think we're stuck with Biden.
I think I give a 10% chance of what John Hopwood says happening.
Really?
And I say that because this Hunter Biden stuff is kind of picking up some steam here.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have no reason to think this. It's just a gut feeling I have, and I have a lot of gut. That there's a red flag that hasn't been thrown yet. There's something here that is going to set the world on fire.
Oh, speaking of fire, Joe Friday says, Matt, mentioned Cornhole at Bonfire on Sunday, August 20th, a fundraiser for Special Olympics for the fire police baseball game. So there you go.
What?
Hey, Joe Friday, message that to me on Facebook if you want. I'll mention it every day. I just need, if you message it to me, it will remind me. I'll read it every day on the show. That's a very, very good cause. But yeah, I mean, that might be why, a lot of people, people who want to assume the worst regarding Biden say, of course, that, they just elevated David Weiss to special prosecutor to, protect Bidens and those Biden adjacent from having to testify in front of Congress and this and that, because now they won't be able to testify because they can't reveal anything about the investigation. But I think you're right, Eric. I think there's probably more, a lot more to Hunter Biden. That's why this has happened. And
I'm sorry to cut you off, Matt.
No, go ahead.
You need to look at the senators that are calling for a full investigation. Chuck Grassley from Iowa, who is well respected across the aisle, and there's another one too, that are actually saying we have issues with David Weiss. Mitch McConnell is another one that's calling for this. So there are some heavy hitters within the Senate saying we need to really look into this. And I think that might lead to why I feel like there's a bomb that hasn't been dropped yet.
There could be. Merrick Garland did not say, he declined to comment, if I remember correctly, when asked if the president was one of because there's others being investigated, not just Hunter Biden. He declined to comment on whether the president was part of that in terms of the investigation.
Sometimes silence can be so loud.
Well, and yeah, in politics, very often it's not what you say, it's what you don't say. But I've been saying for months and months and months that, Biden should not be seeking re-election. He absolutely should. I think he's selfish. Listen, I appreciate, I supported him. I appreciate him getting us through the pandemic. I think we needed him for that. And I have some other, to me, it's a mixed bag. There are things about the Biden presidency that I very much like and appreciate, and some other things I would be critical of. But, he's 1 year younger than Mitch McConnell. And when Mitch McConnell had his little incident, which has still not been explained, I kept
right.
And you've probably heard me say it on the show. I kept saying, Joe Biden is only one Mitch McConnell incident away from losing his presidency. Can you imagine what will happen if Joe Biden has a moment where he just freezes up for 23 seconds?
Stop talking, Matt. Matt, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you keep talking, you can speak it into existence. and in my head, I'm going through the pecking order, and it stops at one person, and we're better off with Biden. than who the second person is.
I don't know. I don't share the general antipathy people seem to have for Kamala Harris, but
Oh.
but the man is 80 years old. It's time, thank you and good night, Mr. President. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he should resign. I'm just saying that
Walk away.
just he should not be running. He should not be seeking re-election. It's absurd. It's absurd that we're in this position. It's absurd that in 2024 we're getting a rematch of Trump versus Biden. It's all unacceptable.
It is.
And
it's like it goes back to a point I've made previously. The South Park episode, bag of feminine hygiene product versus turd sandwich.
Well, but at least one is useful. But
yeah, but useful to only one certain group of people.
Right. Well, they're half the population. But but the point being, I mean, yeah, Biden's got two major liabilities. One, his age, and the other is his son. And neither of those, I mean, look, usually when a political candidate of any kind, whether they be an incumbent president or anybody else, you've got liabilities you can work on, try to improve, and you've got some things you just can't change. And the two biggest liabilities that Biden has, he can't change. He can't get younger, and he can't do anything about his kid. And
I mean, I'm sure there is some political friends he could call that could do, quote unquote, something about his kid. Oh
my.
But,
well,
I mean, man.
My goodness.
I mean, I've never looked at the son of a president and been like, the movie Malibu's Most Wanted needs to happen here. I look at Hunter Biden and I'm like, this might not be a bad idea. Like, stage a kidnapping, get him out of the limelight, do something. This kid's a train wreck.
It's too late for that. But it's much, much too late for that. But yeah, it's such a that's only going to get worse. See, that's the thing too. These are liabilities that not only can they not be fixed, but they're only going to get worse. Joe Biden is only going to get older, and this investigation is only going to drag on. And it's just I mean, again, there are things about this president that I genuinely like. So I don't take any great joy in saying this, but the old man's got to go. It's just the reality of it.
He has had his moment in the sun.
Yeah, I mean, he's had, Erich, 50 years of public service. If he just made this his last hurrah, he gets to go out on top. He gets to go out literally at the top. Doesn't everyone want to go out at the top of their career? He'll be going out as president. I mean, you literally can't do any better than that,
He could do the Nixon salute without the federal indictments.
Well, I don't think Nixon was ever indicted for anything, but
no, he wasn't actually.
I mean, he would have been eventually, but Ford saw to it that didn't happen. But
Nixon, he could do the Nixon salute without the public shame.
Yeah, exactly. Or he could just give us one last, come on, man, whatever he wants to do. And then he could just fly off into the sunset. It'd be great.
Yeah. Simpler thinking.
But he's selfish. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think he's very selfish. And, it's better for the country. Again, I hate to be ageist, but I think it's better for the country to have some younger energy in there. Because here's the other thing. So when it comes to the general election, if you have somebody young who's energetic and they've even got, God forbid, some new ideas or something, that's going to make Trump seem all the more sort of old and in the past. I'm talking about swing voters. You know,
Right.
they're more likely to look at Trump as, yeah, he's, you know, let's leave him in he's yesterday. Let's just leave him in the rearview mirror. Let's vote for someone younger with more ideas and more energy and all of that. And instead, you know, we're going to have a guy who's even older than Trump. You know, I mean, he actually makes Trump seem, because Trump, you know, as much as I don't like him, I will say this for him. I don't see any signs of frailty. He never sounds like he's whispering his way through a speech. You know, I mean, you know, he doesn't seem like he's, don't get me wrong. I mean, actually, the irony of that being, though, and physically, Biden is in better shape. You know, he's thin, so he's not overweight. He's physically active. He likes to ride his bike and whatnot. So he'll probably outlive Trump, even though he's older, just because he has so much better health habits. But Trump doesn't seem frail, and Biden does at times seem. I mean, he does have the old man shuffle when he walks. They try not to show that. The media tries to cover that a little bit. They try to cover that up. But if you see Biden walking, you know, from a distance, he's got the old man shuffle going, and that's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Just, I got nothing to add. It's
yeah,
bad.
yeah. It's all very. Now I'm feeling depressed, but
Yeah.
but we do live in interesting times. So there's that. Well, Erich, we have you've been very generous with your time, and we've kept you much longer than usual. But I always enjoy the discussion. But before we wrap up, we should talk about Friday's film review, and I know that you also wanted to talk about September.
Yes. Friday's film review is The French Connection in observance of William Friedkin's death. Decided to do The French Connection this week. Actually watched it this morning, and it is really an intense film. A few scenes I want to go back and rewatch just because of how like real it is, and just amazing performances by Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider in that film.
Interesting.
Just brilliant performances.
Yeah, it makes me want to see it. I've never seen it.
Just such a great film, and you really kind of see the tip of the new Hollywood iceberg, even though this film really kind of jump-started it with aiming more towards ultra realism in film.
All right. And then and you want to talk a little bit about September?
Oh, yes. You know, I have been blessed, and I'm very gracious to you, Matt, WMNH, and Peter, allowing me for almost 2 years now to do classic film reviews. So I always have the idea of what's the next step? How can it evolve?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to make it not, oh, it's just another review this week? What I've decided is twice a year, it won't be twice this year, but it'll start in September. I'm going to do kind of like a Lifetime Achievement Award for a person in cinema, whether it be a director, an actor, actress, no matter what it could be, where for that month we cover their films as a tribute to them. And with September leading into the month of Halloween in October, I figured the first recipient of this has to be a director that I feel is vastly underrated, and what his contributions are to the horror film genre are just understated and have never been given the full credit he is owed. And that man is director George A. Romero. So,
yes,
in the month of September, I will be covering the films of George A. Romero. We will start with his apocalyptic film, The Crazies.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will do Creep Show. One of his rare non-horror films, Night Riders. And then to wrap it up, the landmark film Night of the Living Dead. And why we're closing with that film is because the first film in October for our horror film fest is going to be Dawn of the Dead, the sequel to Night of the Living Dead. So for the first time in classic film reviews, we're going to cover the first film and then the next week, the second film.
Very good. By the way, I think we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
You know, I really feel sorry for the people in New Hampshire that have to listen to this show. Unbelievable.
I mean, hey, Joe, at least Matt can have a regular show. You haven't had one for like, what, 8 months?
Don't worry about what I have, boy, because when I get back on the air, you're all finished, okay? You're all finished. I said it in my YouTube videos, and I meant it, every word I said of it. Don't worry when I come on. I'll come on when I'm good and ready. Just remember one thing. When I'm on, it's all done. That's all I got. That's it. It's all done. You're all over. But I like to say one thing to Mr. Ratso, if I may.
Uh-huh. Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Ratso.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Somebody's calling me. I'm not going to answer.
Oh, good. This time is so cherished. Yes.
You know, in 1967,
he hung up on a telemarketer.
There was a secret war in Cambodia and Laos that the American public did not know about for a few years.
Uh-huh.
And I feel with you are conducting the same secret war against me.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this squeaky clean image, but I wonder if the people would know that in the last year or so, shut up, Eric, I'm talking. In the last year or so, or maybe more, I don't know, but especially the last 6 months, I've noticed a lot of activity on my channel.
Uh-huh.
And I know you have directed
Eric
Pilcher and a few other people like Billy Painter and a few others, and some of your friends. And the Jerry Robinson was a made-up thing. He had to shut down his channel because he was stealing my material. And I wish your people would know the harassment, not you per se, but your homeboys out there. You do them favors, right, Ratso? You give them special treatment, you give them shows, or you give them appearances on your show, or whatever, IPM, whatever, all in the name to harass. And I just want to know, Matt, are you that threatened by me? Like Eric said, I haven't done a show in so forth. But when I come on the air, it's all going to be over. It's going to be over for all your misfits out there. Not you so much because you're established, but your misfits. It's going to be all over for them because the misfits know who I am. Your radio audience knows who I am. So I want to hear from you, and I want you to admit and be forthcoming in front of your audience that you are doing a secret war on me for the last 6 months or better, and you do favors for those people who do successful, like the Susie Q thing, that was all a hoax. The Jerry Robinson thing, that was all a hoax.
No, those are people.
There was something that was recently that was all a hoax. Constant emails about Brian something being your producer. I mean, Matt, it's harmless. It doesn't, going to hurt me. It's just that why do you have to do things like that? If you got a problem with me, Matt, let's talk about it or let's meet in person. Why do you have to have all these people do your dirty work? Go ahead, your side.
I'm going to
Joe, I want to tell you this. Matt is never.
I don't want to talk to you, Eric, because I'm addressing Matt. Okay? If Matt can't fight his own battles, then that just proves that he can't fight his own battles. Matt, you want to speak up for yourself? I don't care what you say after this. I want to hear from the boss himself, the Godfather of dirtiness. Go ahead there, Godfather of dirtiness.
I'm going to. I do have a statement. The truth is, and Eric doesn't even know this. This is going to blow his mind too. The truth is, it's all a part of my evil plan.
cares?
Well, you asked.
No, so basically you're admitting that you're doing a Cambodia-Laos secret war like they did in 1967. You're doing it on me. All right, so you admitted it. But it's not going to get you anywhere, Matt, because you're not going to defeat a New Yorker. I'm stronger than you. I'm better than you. And I'm taxi tested tough. Ask your boyfriends out there. I gave it to them good, and I made a couple of them leave the air. I put it 10-7.
No one leave the air. Robin Slim are coming back. Billy's still on the air. Jerry's still doing videos. You haven't done anything, Joe. Just like your entire...
Jerry does not exist. Shut your mouth.
You've never done nothing. We're better at life than you, Joe.
You are a bunch of stupid, boring people. How can you sit there and defend yourselves when people can't even stand... Hey, I've directed people to the Matt Show, okay? And they couldn't listen to it for more than 10 seconds.
Joe, look
the people going to listen to me, Eric. That's the reality of the situation. And Matt, deep down inside, knows that. Matt is just messing with me, okay? That's how he is.
It's my evil plan.
But Joe, the only person
have a lot of fun, Matt. It's okay. You know, I mean, look at the people that work under you. I mean, these people are not,
work under
you know, whatever.
Let's look at
Dregs of society.
Some fat loser named Kevin. That's it. Everyone else has abandoned you because they realize you're a talentless, worthless piece of
garbage.
Get
out of here. Shut your mouth. Oh, my God, if I could just talk to you the way I want to talk to you, I'd tear you apart in 2 seconds.
Go right ahead.
Because you're nobody. Okay, you're from Iowa, a loser state.
Iowa.
You ain't from New York, boy.
Iowa has
Don't mess with a New Yorker. I keep telling you that.
I would wash you away like New York sewer scum because that's all you are. You're the filth.
Listen, if you got such guts, come to New York and talk that crap to my face. And I'll bet you'll be running back to Iowa where you belong.
On me like you did Billy, like
I'm not a hard person to find.
All right, I don't want threats of physical violence on the program.
Well, there's no threats here of physical violence.
Okay.
I understand that.
Okay, good. All right.
Sorry about that, Matt. I just lost my temper for a few seconds. This guy annoys me. You know, he's living in a fantasy world. He doesn't understand that he has no talent. Whatever your show you're giving them for rating movies that are 1,000 years old, that's not talent. Okay, what I do is talent.
So, Joe, guys like Dana White, Tito Ortiz, Gail Sayers, they all know nothing? Because I've interviewed all of them. So, they know nothing?
I don't even know who these people are. They're a bunch of nobodies.
You do not know who Dana White is, the leader of the UFC.
Now, Eric, in Joe's defense, he did once interview the keyboard player from Vanilla Fudge.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I did.
And the fake Amish guy.
Yes, him too. Lebanon
and
Levi.
the Amish guy who had over 1 million viewers on Discovery Channel.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
Dr. Pimple.
See, I try to hate you, but I really can't.
I know. I'm lovable. Even though I'm evil.
Because of that voice of yours that's so colorful and cheerful. But you are playing a secret against me, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm like Henry Kissinger with the bombing of Cambodia.
Well, what is the purpose of this secret war against me, Matt? I don't understand.
Well, as you mentioned in one of your videos, I'm the Godfather. I'm involved in organized crime, and not for nothing, but you might wake up with a horse's head one day.
I see.
Could be disparaging and denigrating things you said about his girlfriend and her ethnic heritage.
Let me tell you something. That's between me and her. Has nothing to do with Matt.
Oh, okay.
Matt could curse out my girlfriend, and I wouldn't mind. That's between them.
I know if you said that about someone I cared about, I'd be pretty upset. So just throwing that out.
Oh, you should be upset just because you're upset. You know, you're an upsettable guy, and you like to fight. I noticed that you like to fight. But the thing is, this is the wrong place and the wrong time. When I get back my show, you idiots will know about it, and then you call up my studio line, and boy, am I going to tear you apart.
I wouldn't waste my time calling into your
I'm
show.
going to tear you apart because you're scared. You're a little boy. You're scared of the dark.
No.
Well,
no.
And you're a nobody, Erich. Listen, you're an example of a nobody. All right? I've interviewed big names. I've interviewed people from the Howard Stern show. Okay?
Joe,
I got people that love me, love my show, and they know what real talent is. If they heard you, Erich, they'd be laughing. Erich. They'd be laughing at you, man. People from New York.
That's a strange
So you're
laugh.
lucky you're in Iowa. And you're lucky you got a guy like Matt backing you.
Joe,
Because you've done him a lot of favors, right? You've gone after me, right? That's your claim to fame, right?
Erich is also in the mafia. I'm sorry, Erich. Go ahead. Yes.
You know what the difference between Joe and I is? I actually have a reliable show that airs consistently and has aired consistently for 2 years. So
But you have a reliable show, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it airs every Friday on WMNH, Joe. And if you want, we can compare views on YouTube videos that Matt has posted.
WMNH is a stronghold against the Crazy Joe Show and against New Yorkers and against everything I stand for because I'm on the right.
Well,
I'm not on the left.
Well, Joe,
okay, I'm not a liberal.
I had a New Yorker on the show yesterday. Bob.
Yeah, I know. I heard it.
Bob Hennelly. He's a real New Yorker. So how can we be against New Yorkers?
Well, and he's some kind of broadcaster. I mean, yeah, I respect the guy. I don't know the guy. I thought he was kind of, whatever. He could be a New Yorker. He could still be boring.
Oh, I thought he was fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe to you he was. I wanted to talk to you, Matt. That's what it was because I've been getting a lot of harassment on my YouTube channel. And I just wanted to confront you with it, I mean, what is the purpose of this harassment?
Joe, can I ask you a legitimate question? This is legitimate, okay? And I want you to answer calmly or as much as your brain will allow you to. Do you think that maybe people get upset with you because of the racist things you say?
I am a racist, and I'm proud of it. But listen. I grew up in New York City playing basketball with the black people on the playground. I went to the Rucker tournament. I met NBA players. I had their autograph. You don't know what a racist is because liberals like you, that's what you use for a cop-out when you can't get your way because you're like a spoiled little child. And you expect me to be like you. I'm never going to be like you. I'm a New Yorker. I know what racism is. I grew up with it. I know. I'm a minority myself. So don't give me your crap about I'm a racist and all that crap. Because if I'm a racist against the criminals, against the thugs who commit murder, who commit rape, and they all happen to be black. So that's the only racism that I can tell you that I am. As far as hating black people, I do not hate black people. I do not. But I wanted to ask Matt the question. Matt, you approve of all these immigrants coming across the border? I want to know what you have to say. This is the question I've been dying to ask you. You approve of this? You approve of these illegal aliens coming here and oversaturating our country? You believe in that?
Well, there's a lot to your question. I believe that we need a comprehensive. Actually, Erich and I have discussed this on the show. I think we're in agreement on this, that we need a comprehensive overhaul to our entire immigration system. And until we can do that in this country, nothing will ever be fixed. We do need immigrants, though. There are a lot of employers who don't have enough workers to fill their positions. So we do need to bring in immigrants. I don't approve of people coming over the border illegally, no. And I think that we have a lot that we need to fix.
I'm surprised it's a good answer you got because I thought you were going to say, no, it's okay because, you say you're a capitalist or conservative, whatever. I still think you're a leftist because
I don't say I'm a conservative.
Just letting the immigrants come here so they can vote for him. So every election,
that's not true.
Because they're going to owe Biden because they're going to give them why are they giving them $15,000 debit cards? Why are they
That's
flying
not-
them secretly at night in covert op in planes that look that belong to the DEA? Why are they doing that? Why?
Alex
It's the
Jones,
plan.
is
It's
this-
the Democratic plan. The Democrats hate this country, just like Trump said, and I believe it.
Oh, dear
and
Lord.
They want the immigrants here so they can vote for them, and they want to give them driver's licenses. I mean, I earned my driver's license. I'm sure you did too, Matt. I don't think it's fair to give these people, driver's licenses, practically and they're practically making them citizens. They're not even making them go through the traditional, whatever course it takes to be an American citizen.
That's not true.
So what's going on here is totally inexcusable.
Well,
Oh, my-
Matt, I think it's great Alex Jones decided to join the show today.
Yeah, you said a lot there that's not accurate, Joe. I mean, we're not in the same universe in terms of facts.
Nah, whatever. I mean,
there's no-
this is what I heard.
Well,
I mean, they're giving licenses. They're giving them
that's not how it works.
amnesty practically.
No,
they're
that's-
practically made into citizens already.
That's not true.
And it's just for the Democrat machine so they can get votes every single time in a presidential election.
That's not true. That's true.
Okay?
This is one of those moments where I actually do question, are you for real or are you playing a character?
This is what I heard from other people. This
Well,
is not exactly my opinion.
Okay.
Big Kev told him.
Well, how is Big Kev? I like him, actually. He's called the show a couple times. He's always very nice.
Yeah.
Well-
no, he tries to talk to you.
Yeah. No, he's
You know what I mean? And have a conversation with you. But I encourage him to talk to you about politics because I think
sure.
he would be your master. I mean, this guy is sharp.
My master. Well, that's taking that.
He
in a
would be your master, Matt. I mean,
strange
I'm not trying
direction.
to tell you you're stupid or dumb or
I know.
unintelligent. You are very intelligent.
Thank you.
It's just that, you run things on your show and you talk about these politic things. If you talk to Big Kev, I think he would put you in your place.
Really? Wow.
Yes, and I'll bet on that. And I'm not a betting man.
Wow.
And it would be a debate, and I think he would win, hands down.
Wow.
Like taking candy from a baby. Because, Matt, you are, look, you've earned your position as a radio host. You are educated, but you don't know every damn thing because you're young.
I love when you tell me I'm young. That's why I keep you around. But
aren't you in your 40s?
I think so. Yeah, I must be. Well, I look like it, but I have really good skin. I use oil of Olay. It keeps my skin soft and supple.
Well, I think you're in your 40s. For real, I think you're no more than 45. I think you're about between 42 and 43, 44.
About right. Yeah, I'll take it. All right. Well, let's.
All right.
Let's.
You want to dismiss me? It's okay.
Well, we're almost.
Look, I got
Joe,
in my things. Thanks. I want to thank you.
We're almost out of time, Joe.
Erich, I don't know what to say about him. He annoys me.
Well, I'm sorry.
Likewise, Joe.
He's a hell of a guitar player.
No, he's not. That's all fake, phony, and you made that up. And you got yourself a graphic artist to do the stuff because my friends found out. I have friends, in the technical field, and they said you hired a graphic guy to make it all seem real about Robinson. He was taken from a like a Google thing with pictures, and if they use the pictures, they get paid. And then for about a quarter of a second, 2 seconds, he caught the guy's real voice, trying to imitate Jerry. So come on, you guys got caught.
Hey, Joe.
By professionals, all right? Why don't you admit it?
I admit nothing.
Real quick, I would like to invite you to listen to IPM Nation October 13th at about 7:30. I will be doing a live podcast from a theater here in Iowa the night The Exorcist sequel opens.
Why do you invite me? What am I supposed to do? Listen to you and go to sleep?
I mean, it might be soothing for you. I
really?
think
What are you playing?
Well, it's a live podcast at a movie theater. We're talking about the new film, The Exorcist.
Okay.
All right. Well,
probably one of the most scariest movies of all time. And I don't have to be a film critic to tell you that.
I agree with you.
All right. We are.
Can I give my email address?
Oh, yes. Quickly though,
So this way I could get reactions from New Hampshire, and I can block people.
We are almost out of time, Joe. But do that quickly, yes. And
Radio Man Joe 28 at Yahoo. If anybody wants to contact me, Radio Man Joe 28 at Yahoo. Please contact me. Please insult me, and then I'm going to block you. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Have a nice evening, Matt, and Eric. You too.
Thanks, Joe.
Oh, all right. Bye-bye. Well, that was nice to end on a positive note. All right. Eric, thank you so much. We'll let you bounce as well. It's actually.
Sorry, we ran way over.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And that was that was what it was. But Eric, always wonderful to have you here, my friend, and we look forward to Friday's review.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Matt.
All right, Eric. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that's our friend Erich Pilcher. We're very late. We're going to hit these commercial spots really quick, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you about what we've got for tomorrow's show. But let's show some sponsors. Let's show our sponsors some love here real quick. Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry. Located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Hey, everybody. Wow. We are in our closing moments on today's Matt Connarton Unleashed. But thank you all for joining us today. And, of course, always wonderful to spend some time with my favorite conservative, Erich Pilcher, who Skyped in from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And we had some surprises today. Of course, Gregg Joseph from Clemento's stopped in. That was Gregg's first time on the show, so wonderful to see him. And please visit Clemento's. It is a wonderful place. And Gregg, very graciously offering to help people with food. If, a struggling family out there, head on over to Clemento's this evening. And that's very cool. Gregg's a great guy. And actually, you can hear him on the morning show, too, 1 or 2 times a week. He's on the morning show with Peter White. And we got another surprise at the end as well. With Crazy Joe. Hey, just really quickly, I'm just going to say one thing. I was kidding about the whole evil plan thing. He has been, he gets a lot of interaction from people, a lot of interest from people online. I'm not really. He's been claiming that I'm behind it all. I'm actually not. Full disclosure, I'm not behind any of it. I do still watch and listen to his videos to see what he's saying about me and saying about other people. But I'm not behind any of it. It's all independent of me. We don't talk about him on the show anymore, except if he calls in like he did today. And you know, I've pretty much, outside of still playing his videos, we've ignored him, really. So we don't have anything to do with the emails that he's getting or any of that. Just full disclosure, just being honest with you. I was kidding before. I mean, you know, I have no reason to lie about it one way or the other. But Melanie in the chat room says, nice try, Matt. No evil plan. Yeah, right. No, it is true. But it is, it's actually more fun to just kind of sit back and watch it all, to be honest with you. And Jerry Robinson's a real guy. That is not me. I've got nothing to do with that. I honestly don't. That is true. We play his music, his band, Jerry and the Scumbags. But I didn't hire a graphic artist. I did not create any of that. That is not me. Just for the record, I'm just putting that out there. But anyway, tomorrow on the show, we do have a great musical guest. Goosebread will be Skyping in from Ohio. So we look forward to that. And of course, Friday, we have Erich's classic film review, The French Connection. And we have the world radio premiere of the brand new single from the band House Lights also on the show tomorrow. And then on Monday, House Lights are a couple of members anyway, Sam Beechard, and I think he's bringing somebody else. They'll be here with us live in studio to play acoustic. So looking forward to that. So there's a lot going on. Let's see. And if you are listening live on Wednesday, I believe a replay of Kyle Heavey's Off the Mark Sports is coming up next year on WMNH. Mike from Queen City Cabinetry says in the chat room, we believe you, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but I don't know. I just felt like putting that out there. I think we should end with a little Jerry and the Scumbags. I'm the Man, this great single. But other than that, if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit, WMNHradio.org, and my website, mattconnarton.com. And that's it for me for now. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
I'm really cool.